What's going on, guys? Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a deck centered around the combination of Lapras-GX and mainly Tapu Fini-GX. I mean, to be fair, it's more around Lapras, but I mean, Tapu Fini's in this deck, and it's kind of a deck that I built with Tapu Fini in mind, so there's that. I'm just going to go ahead and say that it's around it. But before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you guys like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and click that subscribe button. It helps us out a ton, and lets us do more cool stuff for you guys. And as for the question of the day, completely unrelated to the deck, just something I was thinking about. If you guys were stranded on a desert island and could have one food for the rest of your life, what would that be? Actually, you know what? No, that's bad because then you can get all scientific. Okay, let's just say you were in a spot in life where, like, you just get, like, you could eat one meal forever. What is the one food that you could eat just nonstop? Like, you never get sick of it. You could eat it every meal of every day. What is that type of food for you? I mean, it's like one of those where, oh, I'm having it for breakfast? Awesome. Having it for lunch? Great. I'm having it for dinner? Even better. Like, one of those types of foods, like, you just would never get sick of. For me, that's sushi. I love sushi. I've had West Coast, East Coast. I mean, I've had it all over. I freaking love sushi. I could have it all the time, and honestly, I eat way too much sushi when I do get it. So, yeah, that's sushi, is that meal for me. Food, rather. What type of food could you guys eat all day, every day, if you were able to? Let me know in the comment section down below, or let me know if you're one of those people that just likes to try new things all the time. But anyway, on to the deck. Because I'm at med school now, and I don't have as much time to go as in-depth into the deck list as I usually do, I'm going to try to speed this up just a little bit, maybe get like 5 minutes of talking about the deck. But anyway, like I said, centered around Lapras and Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini-GX with basically the only thing you really use is Hydro Shot. Okay, I actually don't mean that at all. Hydro Shot is very strong. Discard 2 energy and you hit for 120 on one of your opponent's Pokemon no matter where they are. Tapu Storm GX, shuffle your opponent's active Pokemon and all cards attached to them in their deck. That is very strong against some of these Stage 2 decks that are out there, kind of like, well, Metagross, I think, is the most devastating against, but definitely a bunch of other decks where they have dedicate a ton of resources into getting something big set up in front. But what I have noticed, and honestly talking to Aura, he says he uses Tapu Storm more. I find that I use Ice Beam GX more, but I mean, that's just a difference of style, so it's really, there are a couple GX attacks that you can definitely use, and this is a whole list centered around just Turbo Lapras, Blizzard Burn repeatedly, Blizzard Burn with multiple Laprases, get one Lapras active, one Lapras on the bench, and then just repeatedly attack with those. Sudowoodo is kind of an interesting tech into this deck, because, I mean, it was there for Mega Rayquaza specifically. However, now that Mega Rayquaza is going to be rotated out, this is post-rotation, by the way. Now that Mega Ray is rotated out, Sudowoodo doesn't seem as useful. However, I actually admittedly forgot to get rid of it when I was testing this deck, but I found that limiting your opponent to 4 bench spots really helps in a ton of cases, so I just left Sudowoodo in there, and honestly, it's worked out great for me. So definitely try that out for yourselves and let me know, and let me know how it goes. 3 Tapu Lele, just because Lele can also attack in this deck, as it can in almost every single deck, because we have Max Elixir, Energy Switch, all that. 3 Lapras, because it's main attacker, we want to get those things going, and also it's a good early game mon to be able to collect and not draw dead, basically. 2 Manaphy to be able to have free retreat with all of our stuff, and then 2 Fini for Hydro Shot, and then Tapu Storm in those situations. Now, as for the energy acceleration, 4/4 of Aqua Patch and Max Elixir just to get as much energy on the board as consistently as possible. Couple energy switches, that way if we have to, like, Max Elixir onto a Manaphy, Sudowoodo, or Lele, and we don't want that energy there, heck, it even can be used for just, like, retreating a Lapras out into one on the bench, one that had already been used, Blizzard Burn, so it couldn't attack, so just retreat it, energy switch, and attach. Boom, you have another Lapras powered up and ready to go. Energy switch just gives this deck a ton of flexibility. 1 escape rope, just kind of act as a pseudo Guzma, just get yourself out of bad spots, and also, well, it helps with Max Elixir in particular. Field Blower, because ability lock really does hurt this deck, particularly Garbodor, and also choice bands hurt this deck too, so getting rid of those is nice. Rescue Stretcher is our recursion of choice over Super Rod, because we do kind of like having water in the discard pile for Aqua Patch. 4 Ultra Ball guaranteed gets us what we want when we want. We are also using 4 Brooklet Hill. Brooklet Hill gets us everything that we want to just go straight onto the bench. Tapu Lele we want into our hands anyway, so Brooklet Hill, even though it can't get Lele, we wouldn't want it to do that anyway. But this is just yet another way of being able to search out not only the Watermons, but Sudowoodo as well. And also this is a way of playing around Garbodor so that you don't have to use items to search out Mons. 4-4-3 of Sycamore N and Guzma, you're going to be seeing that a lot from me in this new standard format. Just that way we have max number of draw supporters, so we can hopefully always have one when we need one, in Guzma also so we can have those when we need those late game. 2 Pokemon Ranger is kind of the weird supporter, or the tech supporter that we're running in this deck, because not only does it help with the Jolteon, which you never see anymore, but mainly for Blizzard Burn so that you can back-to-back Blizzard Burn. Kukui just helps with some of the damage numbers in some instances. 3 Choice Band boosts the damage output of really all of our Mons, and then 11... well, only against EXs and GXs, let me amend that. And then 11 Water Energy, so statistically speaking, we can hit Max Elixir every single time. So, yeah, this deck list, I usually talk about a lot more scenarios, but because I just unfortunately don't have the time that I used to, I still want to go through the deck and tell you guys what's going on. So, yeah, this is the deck. Let's go ahead and see it in action. Alrighty, we have got one against Azuki with a... well, this very well could be a mirror match, and which would actually be kind of funny, or it's Quad Lapras, although I see less and less Quad Lapras lately. Like, it's... Quad Sylveon's just so much better. It's just the completely better... it's the completely better disruption deck. So, don't see Quad Lapras anymore, so we might very well be in a mirror match, which would be kind of cool, not gonna lie. Our opponent is kind of just thinking about whether or not they want to go first. I mean, I would assume they'd want to. Like, that's just kind of what you want to do. Or they let us go first. I mean, we take those, I guess. And then I do start with just a hand of Sycamores. So, I mean, at least we have to... at least we'll have to mulligan, which is unfortunate because my opponent will get a bunch of stuff. We'll get a couple extra cards as well. And then when I end, they'll even get another card. How many times do I mulligan? Good lord, I mulligan 3 times? Then I start with a Fini, which, not ideal, but not horrible at the same time, just because, I mean, I can just attach and go from there. Hopefully I draw into a Water Energy. That way I can take advantage of Aqua Patch and potentially get something going, or I get a Lapras. Not horrible, but not great. What I'm going to do right here is get rid of the N and... no, get rid of the Sycamore and the Field Blower. So this is a Palkia Lapras deck, and then I'm going to grab a Manaphy just so I can have that free retreat. What I'm probably going to do... well, I mean, I'm obviously going to Max Elixir, put an energy onto Lapras, and yeah, I am giving my opponent a new hand, but like I really just need to have that Aqua Patch available to me later, and I don't get a supporter. That blows. So what I'm going to do is Aqua Patch again onto Lapras, maybe. Let's play another one down just cuz, and then Choice Band up this Lapras. That way I can one-shot my opponent's Laprases if it comes to that. But didn't even get to manually attach an energy that turn. That hurts. That hurts a lot. Because what I could have done if I was able to manually attach was just play it onto the Fini, and then all I would need is just one way of getting another energy next turn. And my Lapras would be able to one-shot this Palkia, but unfortunately, because I did not draw into that, I'm just in a bad spot. And my opponent plays a random Team Flare Grunt. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I'll be honest. If I can top... no, I just need way too much stuff in order to top deck anything, and oh, my opponent ends me. Thank you, Lord. Whew, I was worried about that. If my opponent hadn't end me, I would just be... I wouldn't have much of anything at all, and then this hand is something I can work with. I will actually... never mind. I was about to say I will be able to one-shot this Palkia, but unfortunately I will not because of, you know, that. And let's see if we can hit the Max Elixir. Why would... well, of course we don't. Why would we? I'm going to go ahead and play the other Lapras down just to thin my deck of that a little bit. And then... okay, so I get my Brooklet Hill. Do I want to play that for Sudowoodo in order to keep my opponent from being able to play any Finis or any Leles? I think I actually do. Or do I want to save it for a Lele if I draw into it? I think You know what? I'm just going to limit my opponent to 4 bench spaces, and then let's retreat into Lapras. I mean, I could Aqua Storm, but I mean, then it just goes right back to the deck and he gets it later, but I think I just need the draw right now, and so I'm going to go with Lapras. And there we go. Alright, so I get finally some supporters. What I can do is Guzma into one of my opponent's Laprases next turn in order to knock them out, unless he plays Crushing Hammer. That makes 0 sense. I'm sorry, but like, if you're gonna go Disruption, go all out. Don't like do half Disruption, half I don't know. I'm just confused by that. I think if you're gonna go Disruption, you need to go pretty hard. And then there's a Field Blower, so of course. So I'm not going to be able to get a knockout. I will be able to knock out a Manaphy if I want. So that's something that I might actually try to do. And then he is powering up his Hyper Rare Lapras. If I had that Choice Band, this would be so perfect right now. But what I think I'm going to do is, I hate to get rid of all this stuff, and I could have gotten a knockout this turn. But I just need to Sycamore. I need to get some more stuff going. If I got my other Field Blower... I mean, if I had my Field Blower, I would be able to knock out this Palkia this turn. But let's go ahead and Aqua Patch onto, I think, Fini. Yeah, because, I mean, that Manaphy on my opponent's bench is literally just going to be a prize whenever I want it. Let's put 2 energy on the Fini for now, and then what I'm actually going to do this turn is Ice Beam GX. Use my GX attack on that. I really don't see Fini's GX attack being too horribly useful this match. And then my opponent just passes, so that's great for me. I will be able to get a knockout, and I can power up something else in the background. So let's go ahead and play the energy onto this Lapras, and then I know I'm going to get knocked out next turn. But let's Blizzard Burn, knock out this Palkia. I don't want to reveal that I have the Choice Band in my hand. I don't want to reveal that, because as soon as my opponent promotes that Lapras, he's going to knock out this Lapras, and then also he can always Field Blower away my Choice Band if I had played it down. And right now my hand is great for getting a response knockout next turn, because what I'll be able to do is just promote my Fini Aqua Patch onto the Lapras, and crushing. I mean, that just, I'm sorry, but that really doesn't make sense. Like, if you're gonna go quad Lapras, then go full Disruption. Don't kind of like half go for it. Either way, I will be able to knock out my opponent's Lapras this turn. However, he does have a response Lapras too, which is a little bit annoying. But let's go ahead and, do I want to save the Aqua Patch? Nah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and play that. Put it onto this Lapras. I have an Energy Switch that I'm not sure how I want to use. Let's go ahead and Lele. I think grab probably... Don't have any more Sycamores. Good to know. So let's grab Kukui, I think. Oh, my opponent just forfeits. Okay. Well, I mean, I would have been able to knock out that Lapras, and then if I had grabbed Kukui, I could have done a little bit more. Actually, you know what? No, I had the win on board with Fini if my opponent wasn't able to knock out my Lapras anyway, so it really didn't matter what supporter I grabbed right there. I just needed a single energy after I knocked out that Lapras for Fini to be able to snipe the Manaphy on the bench. So, yeah, we win the quote-unquote mirror match against a Disruption Lapras deck, and yeah, let's go ahead and try to find another one. Alrighty, we've got another one against Uben Duped with a... I mean, this could be like Darkrai Giratina, it could be the Darkrai Dragonair, which is a really, really cool deck, not gonna lie. I think I don't remember which video it was, but in one of my recent videos, my opponent absolutely went off with it. Like, they got 10 to 12 energies attached in one turn, which was kind of absolutely insane and really, really fun to watch. But unfortunately, we do lose the coin flip, and yeah, unlike my last opponent, this one does not let me go first. And I start off with a Sudowoodo. Not ideal, but manageable. My opponent will have to mulligan, so maybe I can get something and... Interesting, I have absolutely no idea what my opponent is running. Like, I legitimately don't know. I think that was like a Chaos Tower. in there, so something about sleep and then muscle dumbbells. I'm really just not sure. Like, I legitimately just have no idea at all. So Sudowoodo will be limiting my opponent early, which could be nice. I mean, if my opponent, like, Lele's into Bridget, then that just fills up their bench completely and they don't have that last spot. But we will get a mulligan card, which I definitely do want. It's a Fini. Yeah, I would 100% like that. And it's, okay, so it's a Noivern deck. Got it. So we don't have to worry about Sonic Volume locking us out of anything because we don't play any special energies to begin with. Fini might come in handy, actually, by shuffling a bunch of stuff back into the deck. Either way, I'm pretty sure this turn I'm just going to attach an N. My opponent does decide to Wally first turn. So maybe if I can get... wait, no I can't. The GX attack doesn't work in that scenario. But what I can do is attach a water to Sudowoodo, and then because my opponent didn't play a draw supporter, I am going to Sycamore. This also gets water in the discard pile for me. So what I'm going to go ahead and do... Like, yeah, it gets rid of some supporters, but I should have enough to get me through the game. Then again, I say that, and then I'm probably just going to draw like I did against Aura. With the Max Elixir, what else is new there? Let's Aqua Patch, grab one, throw it onto the Fini. And then I think... Yeah, I think this turn I'm just going to, like, hit that Noivern for 20 damage. And not going to lie, this 20 damage might actually come in handy. Because what I can do with that 20 damage is set it up to be knocked out by a choice-banded Lapras. And my opponent will just end right here. Honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, I really didn't need a whole lot. I would like some stuff, but I didn't need too much. We do see a Distort right here. Hits me for 50, keeps me from being able to draw stuff, and... Huh. So here's an idea. So I'm going to Brooklet Hill immediately for a Lapras, get that thing down, probably slap an energy onto it. And then I think I'm going to Lele for a Ranger, actually, so that I'm going to be able to play my Choice Band and my Max Elixir. Yeah, let's go ahead and Ranger so that I have both those. Okay, now Max Elixir, please reward me. Yes, there we go. Okay. I was about to say, if I played a Ranger for just an energy, I would be kind of sad. But what I'm going to do right here is go into Lapras and collect. If I get another energy, I'll be able to knock out my opponent's Noivern, and I have another Lele, which gives me the opportunity to get another Ranger if I so choose. But I think... Uh-oh, we see the Sneasels come down. This is a Noivern Weavile deck. Abort, abort. This is bad. This is not good. I really regret playing down Manaphy now. And the Sudowoodo and the Lele. But the thing is, if I don't play another Lele, I actually... My opponent cannot knock me out with Weaviles. My opponent does just go ahead and Distort. That's fine. If I can get a Water Energy, then I'll be able to knock this thing out with Blizzard Burn. Yeah, it's not worth playing a like, if I had an energy in the discard pile, then I might go for Ranger, but at this point it's better to just try to draw into it, which last card I draw into, so that's clutch. Let's go ahead and Brooklet Hill for another Lapras, just kind of thin my deck out a little bit more. And here we go, we will be able to Blizzard Burn, knock out the Noivern, and then I have the Guzma for next turn to be able to retreat into my Fini and then come back out with my Lapras and attack once again. The thing is, as long as I don't play any more Pokemon with abilities, Weavile will not be able to beat me, because it would literally not be able to touch Pokemon that don't have abilities. Well, I mean, it can slash for 70, but like, if it comes down to my opponent having to slash in order to try to win, I think I'm going to be fine. My opponent does end me right here. That is... that's okay. And also I realized that Sneasel's attack was Nian Roll, which I think is kind of awesome, actually. He does evolve into another Weavile. That's... I mean, at this point, he's going to be able to knock out my Manaphy and Sudowoodo, and I'm just kind of accepting the fact that he's going to be able to knock out my Lele as well. But that's only 5 prizes worth of... I mean, that's only 5 prizes worth right there. He needs one more, and I just have to make sure that he cannot... that I don't let him get a knockout on a Lapras or a Fini with a Noivern. Like, if he knocks out Manaphy or Lele or whatever, I'm fine with that. What I think I'm actually going to do this turn, I might just Ranger again to hold on to the Sycamore, because what I can do right here is Ranger and then just Ice Beam GX. That way I have another Blizzard. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's Ice Beam. That way I have my Blizzard Burn on deck. Yes, I know it's technically a waste of a GX attack that I don't get the paralysis from it. But at this point, I just want my Lapras to have back-to-back attacks, because I think I can outspeed my opponent at this point. I think I can outspeed my opponent at this point if he just tries to attack with Weavile and then get a Noivern slowly set up in the background. My opponent does play a Lele down, which I think, honestly, I think that that's actually a huge misplay. Because what it's going to do... I mean, he makes the right plays right here, switching Weavile into Noibat and then Guzmaing out the Lapras. But he's putting his own... he's damaging his own Lele. Like, his own Lele is now in range of my Tapu Fini. So what I can do right here, Choice Band up the Lapras just because, Ultra Ball, get rid of that, grab the last Lapras. And then I have enough outs, I think. I think I should have enough outs, and there we go. There's 2 outs right there in Energy Switch and Escape Rope. So what I think I'm going to do this turn is, well, first of all, just Escape Rope. Do I want to do that? Yeah, because if he goes Lele, I knock it out. If he goes Noibat, I knock it out. And I'm going to be sniping down that Lele anyway with my Fini. So let's go ahead and bring up my Lapras so that I'll be able to Blizzard Burn next turn. Aqua Patch onto the Fini. I have the Energy Switch for next turn. Let's play 1 energy onto this Lapras just so that I have the ability to collect if my opponent tries to stall with it. Let's play the Choice Band onto that. Just take cards out of my deck. I have the Energy Switch in hand, and all I need to draw is a single energy to power up Fini completely. And even if I don't draw into that, the fact that I have Energy Switch at my disposal means that I will be able to simply, like, if my opponent does not end me, I will be able to just switch the energy onto Fini, snipe down that Tapu Lele that's on the bench, and win the game off of that. So yeah, in this case, my opponent using Weavile is actually coming back to bite him and is actually winning me the game. Because yeah, he knocked out my Manaphy and my Sudowoodo and my Lele all on the bench. But what he did in the process was damage his own Lele to the point where my Fini was able to knock it out. Even the Parallel City will not be able to help my opponent at this point. Because, I mean, even... Actually, it could have if he didn't attack right, if he didn't go for Rule of Evil right there, but I mean, he had to. So what I'm going to do right here, let's first Max Elixir, see if I hit it, which I do. So, I mean, that's pretty nice as well. Let's go ahead and just manually retreat my Lapras into my Fini, go for a Hydro Shot, and knock out this Lele and win us the game. So that actually turned out to be really, really close. Like, that came down to the absolute wire because of Weavile. However, like, I really wasn't that worried, because as long as my opponent just kept attacking with Weavile, like, I knew that he couldn't win off of Weavile alone, simply because my I only had 5 prizes worth of ability mons on board, so Weavile at most could take 5 prizes, and I just had to deny him that last one, which, I mean, I didn't end up necessarily having to do, but I still ended up doing, and was able to pull out the game thanks to Fini. So yeah, Lapras, you were the MVP, but Fini the real MVP. You know what? We got time. Let's go ahead and try to find one more with this deck. Alrighty, we have found another one against OVXB666. So we are against the Devil with a bunch of random letters at the beginning with a Psychic and Fire deck. So You know what? Maybe we'll have the type advantage. Maybe we can actually take advantage of that. In my hand, I actually, you know what? I mean, I'd prefer an energy, but overall, this is not a bad hand to start with, especially the fact that it appears I'm going to be getting a mulligan card or two. Interesting. So we see Repeat Ball, but I'm not sure what type of deck my opponent is running. I mean, I really have no idea. Like, I'm completely baffled. Maybe it's Salazzle Garbodor? That's the only thing that comes to mind. Yes, I would like to take a mulligan card, and I get a Lele, which can work. Or it's Turtonator. Is this Quad Turtonator? That'd be kind of awesome if it was. So what I'm going to do is grab another Lapras. I really don't need to grab a Manaphy. What I'm going to do is Ultra Ball for said Manaphy, because I mean I can always just do it with that. And then I'm going to Lele for a Sycamore so that I can get a fresh hand. And I mean, basically I really don't need to worry a whole lot. I mean, I still obviously need to be careful, but I think this matchup is just going to be so much in my favor that I don't have to play it. You know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and play it onto the Lapras, because I mean, Manaphy, I was actually thinking about playing the Choice Band on Manaphy, but I don't think that will be smart in the long run. Let's go ahead and just slap that onto Lapras, play this onto Lapras as well. Don't want a Sudowoodo? You know what? Let's go ahead and Sudowoodo. Why the heck not? And this will keep my opponent from being able to play too many other Pokemon. I mean, if it's Quad Turt, then it's probably just Turtonator and Lele. But what are the odds that my opponent gets 3 Turtonator in the opening hand? I mean, I'm not like trying to complain about my opponent being lucky or anything like that when I say that. It's just like, wow, go you. 3 Turtonator in your opening hand. Jeez. One thing that is kind of cool is the Energy Switch that I have in my hand, because I will be able to, never mind. I was going to say, because of the Energy Switch, I will be able to attack with Lapras this next turn and knock out a Turtonator. But unfortunately, well, if I can hit this Max Elixir, then yes, I will be able to do that. My opponent does play Potown. That doesn't matter at all because I'm not evolving anything. And what I'm actually going to do right here, Ultra Ball, get rid of the water and the Manaphy. Just put one in there so that I can activate Aqua Patch, which, I mean, I have 4 of those, so fingers crossed that I draw into one. Let's see if we can hit the Max Elixir. We do not, so alright, here goes nothing. Fingers crossed I draw into Aqua Patch and a Water Energy, which I luckily do. And I even get an Energy Switch. So I can kind of be cheeky with that as well if I want. But let's play the energy there. Aqua Patch onto the benched Lapras. Energy Switch up to the active. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then Choice Band up the active, because why the heck not? And then let's take a knockout with Ice Beam. I'm going to go for an Ice Beam as opposed to Blizzard Burn. That way I have Blizzard Burn active for next turn. That way I don't have to try to do any shenanigans. I can, if I need to, I can Sycamore instead of having to play Ranger, and then I also have the Ranger for later if I want to knock out my opponent's Turtonator. So my opponent is going to just bring up the Turtonator with... I did not realize that Turtonator had 3 energy on it. That is actually pretty terrifying. And if my opponent gets a Choice Band, he will be able to knock out my Lapras. So this is actually turning into a pretty scary match, not going to lie, because now my Lapras with all my energy is about to be gone. And oh boy, we see the Choice Band. This is going from bad to worse very, very quickly. Yeah, Bright Flame is going to be able to knock out my Lapras, so... crap. What I'm going to do is promote this Lapras. If I draw in an energy and I hit... Ooh. Okay, so if I hit this Max Elixir, it all depends on this. Of course I don't hit it. Why would I? If I hit that Max Elixir, I would have been able to knock out my opponent's Turtonator. But unfortunately, I did not, so I do not. And what I'm just going to have to do this turn is collect. Man, if I'd hit that Max Elixir, I would have been able to attack. But, darn it. I mean, I get a couple water... Seriously, I whiff a Max Elixir, and then off 3 cards I get 2 water energy. Seriously? Really? Really? That's how we're gonna play this game? That's how it's gonna go? Ooh. So as it turns out, getting rid of my opponent's choice band actually is going to help him. What I'm gonna do right here is energy up this Lapras. Retreat into the Lapras so that I have an attack, and then I think I might just, yeah, I think I'm just going to hold on to this Energy Switch, because, I mean, this Lapras is going to get hit for some pretty solid recoil damage. I mean, not enough to where a Shell Trap would be able to knock me out, but, sorry if you heard that phone buzzing in the background, not enough to where a Shell Trap would be able to knock me out, but just enough to where, yeah, just enough to where I can, well, I don't know, I lost my train of thought. That phone buzzing in the background completely threw me off. But, okay, so I have, my opponent does have the N. I mean, I needed to save that Energy Switch anyway. Like, that was just something I needed to do. If my opponent does, if my opponent's Turtonator does hit me, then that's okay. Actually, it's less than okay. But, oh wait, no, I have Escape Rope. I will be just fine. Like, I think the top deck of Escape Rope won me the game. Because he will be able to Shell Trap this turn, then go into his other Turtonator, but what... Oh, he can Shell Trap this turn, I Escape Rope, go into my Lapras, retreat back into my Lapras, and then win the game with Blizzard Burn. So that's going to be what I am going to go for right here. I mean, actually, you know what? I don't even need to, because I can just Aqua Patch. And actually, you know what? Let's go for style points. I'm not letting my opponent get any extra damage on me. Let's Escape Rope, Blizzard Burn, take the knockout with Lapras, and win the game. So, yeah, that was pretty awesome way to end it. I mean, that actually ended up being a lot closer of a match than I think it should have been, and everything. So, okay, unfortunately, Camtasia crashed right in the middle of my little outro sequence, so I did lose what I originally said, but I was able to salvage the rest of the recording, but I'm just having to record this all over again. Yeah, those are some pretty good matches. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.